If you're recommending me to a family member or somebody you trust, uh, how is it that you would hand me off, or why would they use me?
Experience. You have a lot of experience with selling these things. The second thing, you can be trusted completely. First thing came to my mind was, hey, these guys have contacted me. Can I trust them? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Every buyer will have that going through his or her mind, at least in the beginning, right?
Sure.
And overcoming that, that fear of, trustworthiness is very important, which you did very well, especially. Plus, we hit the call button, you pick up the phone. We text you text you back. We were completely in communication all the time, right? Day and night, evening, morning.
Mm-hmm.
And if sometimes doesn't work, you were very upfront. We were very upfront that, okay, this time is not good. Could we do later, right? Just like, there were no barriers in our communication with you. Other things are very important. Most sellers would have that. Most agents would have that. You guys will be very experienced. You will know ins and outs of the buying process. You will be able to answer all the questions. You know the areas very well. That's like a given for any seller. But what's important is, you are also, trusted advisor, trustable, which buyer can trust and bank on you to, get help in going forward. For us, that was very important. And that's what I will tell, if I recommend you to somebody else, say, among other things, this is the special attribute this guy has. And this was very important to us, and this will be very important to you as well.
So the intention of this call is, I capture really your experience, and mostly for feedback's sake, and I may use it for some testimonials sake, just for my own promotion for our business. But I don't want you to talk anything up. I really want the authentic experience around it all. So that's my intention. For anything you want to say up front, this just be an opportunity to say anything you thought, or you want me to just start asking some questions. What do you guys say?
It was really fast. That's the thing. We feel at the end of the deal, when we started looking for this, we were not even sure. We were going back and forth where we wanted the unit. Then we started shifting to another area. So we were kind of wishy-washy in the beginning, but then in the end, it all came together really, really fast. We were also surprised that we were able to close the deals so fast. I think you, Brian, also said the same thing.
Yeah.
That was our experience too.
Yeah. Okay. In this experience, when you started, you kind of don't know what you want, but you had an idea. Could any ways that you feel like I could have helped that process along any better? Or is there anything I could have communicated or set expectations for, or anything that you feel like would have helped you arrive at that better than the way it went?
I think for most part, it was really good. I think you played your side very well, in terms of, being prompt and, being and your availability in showing the units to us and sending us anything which new came up, and responding to our queries and the questions, responding to our concerns, such as, which were not even like in your forte, such as, how much it will take to do this versus that, right? So I think overall our experience was very, very positive. I can't think of anything other than, we will come back to later. I think that, or the only experience which probably not was very great, in terms of, buying this unit was when we were dealing with the loan officer, right, for the loan. I think that was the only thing where we had some concerns. But overall, from your standpoint, we had no issue whatsoever. I can't even think of what else you could have done. Maybe the only thing I can think of is maybe you would have shown us more units and made us more confused, right? But other than that, we can't think of anything.
Okay. What do you say, Arun? Anything from your side?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all that. Like, I think like we had fairly strict criteria about what our price range was, where we wanted to buy, and I mean, you're really helpful in just like making sure that we were able to see a lot of units and get a good feel for like, what does a $550,000 condo in Capitol Hill look like? What's the sort of range and quality you can get to that price point? And we were pretty sure that was what we wanted to buy. So there was nothing more to. We just needed to see a lot of units that fit that description, and then we were sort of able to figure things out, just more like feel our way through it.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Okay. And when you work with new professionals, and at this point we were just connected from a lead and a call, how is it that what's important to you when working with a professional like a real estate agent that like either you could see immediately or you could intuitively know that this is a quality that I need or have to have with working? I think a lot of this type of interaction it's all intuitive, and I don't know if many people can.
Yeah, I'm prepared for that question. I think, and that has, when you, let's start by saying that, when you start looking for, when we started looking for the unit or any property, you're generally not 100% sure what you actually need, right? You sometimes go back and forth. Should I do this or that, or this place or that place? Any buyer would be confused because no buyer would be 100% sure. So I think that's where the real estate agent should step in. Just understand what the customer requirement is, and also if they can at times play the role of a trusted advisor, that would be very, very helpful. Because a lot of things we don't know, you guys know, right? And sometimes you can read the buyer's mind better, and and help us get to a place where we can make a better and more informed decision.
Okay.
Because when we ask you a question, so that was very important part of our deal with you or our relationship with you. We trusted you completely. You wouldn't say anything to just sell the unit quickly, right? And we have had that experience with some other sellers in the past. When people come in and they just push you and they say, oh, this thing, if you miss on this, then you're not going to find anything like that. I think that's all good, right? That might be true in some cases, but you have to come out as a trusted advisor.
Okay.
Not somebody just interested in selling. And that was our experience with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with all of that. I think the number one challenge is like we'd never bought a condo before. We didn't know what a deal looked like, and we went shopping for a deal. So I think your perspectives on like what do you look for in a unit in the city, those have just been valuable because if we went shopping for a house, like we've lived in a house, we know what a good house looks like, but it's just really difficult to evaluate property when you don't have any experience in that particular asset. So that was just crucial to us.
Okay, awesome. All right, so this would be a question from if you could showcase what you think my strengths are, or like what is it that people would recognize in working with me compared to maybe some other people, maybe what's unique about me and my service that you could say is pretty distinct. What would you say that is?
You go first.
Yeah, I would say you've got a different like take on things than a lot of other realtors. Like I think you were very good at having insight into the needs of, so like you understood like what we were intending to do with the unit, and when we were thinking about touring units, you always made recommendations that were sort of like specifically tailored to whatever use case or what we would be using the condo for. So for example, like some units were just clearly not going to be a good fit for like one or two people living in their 20s living there, and I think you were generally pretty proactive about saying like maybe this isn't such like a great fit for the lifestyle that you want or what you're really thinking about. So I would say like you were really focused on like us and our needs throughout the entire process, which was really helpful.
Okay, got it. Indra, anything?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that was the thing, major thing. Then I'll come back to the same thing, that you came out as a very trusted person to us, and whatever advice you gave us, we we took it very seriously, and that was very important. So we felt more confident in buying a property because the way you came out and said, hey, this is good and that is not good, making us just making us traverse through that complex road of uncertainty about what is good and what is not bad, not good, and helping us make that decision was very important, in addition to what just Arun said.
Okay. All right, great. And all right, so this is it's kind of always difficult to ask, because to get something really authentic is difficult in this question, but do your best to think back to the first impression you might have had of me and Randy, and or both, and just like what might have been some concerns that you did have initially, that you through our process, obviously you had worked through it, but like what were some of the initial concerns you might have had?
When you're thinking about like a realtor or like a buyer's agent, like it's very important to just like know that you're working with someone who has a lot of experience. And like that, obviously didn't end up being an issue. Like you guys clearly knew what you were doing and knew what a good versus a bad condo looked like. But I think that could have been something that was really helpful to signpost up front. That like, we have a lot of experience, especially because you folks are a little younger, more fresh faced. I think it's really important to demonstrate like, we're serious, we're professionals, we know what we're doing. And I think that would have, to my dad's point about how we felt a little rushed, like, I think we might have been more comfortable if we were just 100% sure, like, you guys were extremely familiar with the process and knew exactly what you were doing, which you were. You were. It's just like we weren't 100% clear.
Set expectations.
At that time, yeah.
That time.
Yeah. Okay, got it. All right. All right. So then, I guess I'll ask again. I know I asked this question a little earlier, but now that we've been in this conversation, you're thinking about the overall process. Is there anything you feel like, besides that entry, maybe we rushed you, is there anything else you feel like we could have done better for you to make this process smoother, or giving you an experience you wish you had had? Anything missing or gaps there? This would be a good time for that.
I don't think there is anything which we would like to especially point out.
Okay.
Because I think in the end, except that beginning rush thing, if you take that aside, everything else after was a very positive experience.
Okay. Very
useful. And we were talking with you like friends, right? So in the end, as a trusted advisor.
Okay.
So after that, everything was fine. I don't think you could have done anything from your side. At least I can't think of anything.
Okay. And just to capture the one part that seemed like it was a frustrating experience was the loan experience, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
That was very frustrating. I think that was exactly opposite of what experience with you was. Right? With you, the experience was, we hit the call button, you pick up the phone. We text you text you back. We were completely in communication all the time, right? Day and night, evening, morning. And if sometimes doesn't work, you were very upfront. We were very upfront that, okay, this time is not good. Could we do later, right? Just like, there were no barriers in our communication with you. On that, the loan part, that was exactly the opposite. Until I called, nobody called me. And then if I call, oh, I'm not available, I will be in the plane, or some excuse, or I don't know, they may be true, they may not be excuse.
Sure.
What our experience was, I think it was not very good. And then we finally closed with that. thing because we didn't want to actually, derail the process at that point because it was too late to bring somebody else in the game. At that time, we were very close to being, closing the deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to go back, and if somebody asks me what kind of person we should not be selecting for the loan process, then that will be my example.
Yeah.
Who doesn't talk to you?
Yeah.
I started working with another person, and he came as a recommendation. He works with Oracle, the company I work for, so he's like a partner with them.
Uh-huh.
And this guy was talking to me just like you are talking.
Hmm.
He was on the phone. He would call me. He would text me. He would say, hey, look at this document I just sent you. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Look at the other document I sent you. Just like you were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
That experience was missing with this person.
Hmm.
That is completely. And then, we lost like maybe $1,000 on the closing because, he sent us some document. I was not able to look at that because there were so many emails.
Sure.
And he sent me that on Wednesday, and I responded that on Thursday afternoon. Then he didn't look at this until Friday.
Hmm.
So I missed on one day, and that person missed on another day. And because of that, we lost, $1,000 some point.
Hmm.
That was I think that was the only bad taste with respect to the whole process in the whole deal.
Okay, got that. That's really good feedback. Okay. Any feedback or anything else you want to say about the whole process or about working with me or anything at all? This would be your opportunity.
Only thing I would say is like, and I think you were generally pretty good about this, but like, I think I'd encourage you to be maybe even like a little less deferential. Like, you generally have a pretty good sense for like, what is and is not good in a unit. And like, maybe one thing we didn't think enough about was like views your natural light. And it would have been good if like, you could have been like that third voice in the room, which is like, hey, are you thinking about this? You don't, obviously, you shouldn't be aggressive with the client and like, disagree with them when they like a unit. But at least for me, I really value critical feedback from like an objective third party to the extent that you can be. And I think just like giving those insights from someone who knows what they're doing is just so important because it's hard for us to evaluate a condo. We just haven't seen that many.
Sure. Okay. Got it.
I'll say the same thing. Well, I think you did a lot of that already in other cases. For example, when we were looking at remember that in Belltown, we were looking at a couple of units and you gave very critical feedback in that.
Yeah.
This is the downside of this. So you were doing a lot of that already. And that is what was very important for us. That's the reason we trusted you more than we were trusting others.
Hmm.
So, but at the same time, I really echo just what Arun said. Next, be third voice in the room, be the advisor in the room, and help negotiate people through the process.
Okay.
A lot of things people are not looking at. We generally buyers could be naive, right, about a lot of things. But
Sure.
you guys show you are not naive. You know about in and out. You sell these every day. You look thousands of units every month. So you have that insight into the property which buyers wouldn't have. So given that experience, if you can be a trusted advisor, anything which is important, people might be ignoring. Bring that up front would be very useful.
And I think every buyer is going to have blind spots. Like for us, we were I think very number driven. Like we try to go through everything quantitatively. And like maybe sometimes that made us less attentive to like aesthetics or quality of life stuff, which you're really good about bringing up. And like, I'm sure there's going to be clients who are vice versa, who are like really focused and like, it's beautiful, can I see myself living there? But they may not be as hard-nosed about thinking like value per dollar. And I think both things are really important. And it's really important to have like when you have a satisfying process, you want to have both in balance.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Awesome, guys. Last question would be, if you're recommending me to a family member or somebody you trust, how is it that you would hand me off, or why would they use me?
Well, for the same reason we have been saying. I think experience, you have a lot of experience in selling these things. The second thing is you are trusted advisor. You come out, on the side of the buyer, right? You don't push the buyer. You basically give, help them negotiate through the buying, process. I think those are the reasons. The reasons is that, you can be trusted completely, which that's the problem with the buyer, right? When I was a buyer, the first thing came to my mind was, hey, these guys have contacted me. Can I trust them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every buyer will have that going through his or her mind, at least in the beginning, right?
Sure.
And overcoming that, that fear of, trustworthiness is very important, which you did very well, especially. When you came to us, first we started talking to Rani, and Rani was very good, of course. And then she, introduced us to you. And with you, we even have, better rapport than we had with Rani.
Mm-hmm.
So that is very important. In my view, other things are very important. Most sellers would have that. Most agents would have that. You guys will be very experienced. You will know ins and outs of the buying process. You will be able to answer all the questions, the areas very well. That's like a given for any seller. But what's important is, you are also, trusted advisor, trustable, which buyer can trust and bank on you to get help in going forward. For us, that was very important. And that's what I will tell, if I recommend you to somebody else, say, among other things, this is the special attribute this guy has. And this was very important to us, and this will be very important to you as well.
Yeah. Okay. Got that. Awesome. Arun, anything else you'd say or add to that? Okay.
No, I think that's the core issue with buyers, or with when you're a buyer. Like, everybody wants you to buy, so it's really challenging, and everybody wants you to buy as soon as possible. So it's really challenging to find an agent who is on your side, and we 100% trust that you were.
Awesome. All right, guys. I want to just thank you so much for spending some time just doing this with me. I really appreciate it. It's invaluable for our efforts and what we're doing. And of course, we appreciate the real feedback, the authentic stuff. And then, we appreciate, of course, anybody you're talking to that could use our help. So all said, thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. And let me know if there's any other way I can serve you or help out. Especially, it sounds like you found a painter.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So that guy's really good. He's doing a good job. Yeah, we found one.
Okay. All right, good. Was that one of the ones I recommended or a different one?
No, this is something else we found.
Okay.
We used the one you recommended for the flooring. So I'm using that guy.
Okay.
And he's really good.
RJ, yeah, good.
Yeah. But he hasn't started the work yet. But this painter we found through like Yelp or some Yelp recommendations.
Good.
He seemed to be really good. Yeah.
Good. All right. Good to hear. Okay, guys. Till the next time.
Okay. Brian, happy selling. Okay.
Yes.
Take care.
Bye.